For many people around the world, a bank account is a luxury and a stable currency is out of reach. People rely on informal networks, cross border WhatsApp groups, and whatever tool they can find to move money around. Today, we're joined by Felipe Servin, who spent years building some of Latin America's largest online communities, reaching tens of millions of users, before focusing on the financial systems those same users lacked access to. Now, he's the founder and CEO of Sati, a platform using messaging apps to make Bitcoin, stablecoins, and even mining rewards accessible in everyday life. Felipe, welcome to Token for Your Thoughts.
Hey, Nancy, thanks for having me. Real pleasure and really nice to see you again after the Las Vegas encounter.
Yes, yeah, we met at the Bitcoin Vegas conference, which is absolutely brilliant event. What did you think? Did you enjoy it?
Totally enjoy it. This is the first time I'm invited as a speaker in this like magnificent event. I've been
Hmm.
speaking about Bitcoin in different spots, but this is the first one in Las Vegas, so I enjoy a lot. A lot of work to do. It was like a crazy time to be speaking, but also having a booth for Sati. So it's a
Yes,
great combination, the experience.
yes, definitely. It was also my first time, and I was so surprised just by the scale of it. I had attended Consensus a few weeks before, and I think that was about half the size. But I kept saying it felt like this was more like 5 times the size. It just so many people, but a lot of really great, exhibitors there. Obviously, that's where we met, like at your booth, and the speaker lineup was fantastic. So yeah, it's always great to meet in person, and awesome to have you on the show today. So I'm excited to talk about Sati. You gave me a demonstration at the event, and yeah, I was just blown away by it. Very, very cool. But just rewinding a little bit, you had started out building these huge Facebook communities before shifting to crypto. What made you shift from community building to tackle financial inclusion and moving into crypto?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, long story short, I started my career as a tech entrepreneur in San Francisco. That was a long time ago, around 12 years ago. So I'm already senior in that
Hmm.
kind of adventure. We started doing research about how people connect online because the first thing we wanted to solve was about like digital empathy. So why people kind of develop relationships, and if we can kind of predict what is gonna create a tribe or a small community. Long story short, we get a good amount of mathematics behind it. We've, we first created an algorithm to be able to connect people based on their interests online. And the kind of insight there is like you just need to have three topics or objects that trigger a big amount of passion. So passion is one
Oh.
of the main components. You need to have this kind of trigger or spike of engagement. It can be measured by the speed of your like, the amount of comments in a specific post you create, or just the time that you spend with that specific object. When you get three different objects between two people, and these three objects create a peak of density for this engagement, you have the MVP for empathy. And that one can trigger the creation of like romantic relationships or partnerships or friendships, right? So it's pretty
Hmm.
much the basic form of this. So I dedicated around 10 years of like building all of that. The summary of all of this endeavor was like multiple rounds. We ended up with a 50 million user community, so huge
Wow.
user base, billions of impressions, billions of views. Everything was like pre-ChatGPT, so we were really early in the industry because everything was like powered by AI, and
Hmm.
the whole thing was about understanding what is important for large set of communities. In the
Hmm.
middle, money was always the topic, right? So money is something that is a common topic, especially in emerging markets. The first version of that company was focused on Latin people. So either Latinos living in the US or like American people with some relationship in Latam. So
Hmm.
cross border was kind of the topic that keeps on repeating. My previous company was about connecting people, understanding their interests, and then like get their attention. Then
Hmm.
we scaled to a good size of a company, but COVID actually changed everything. It changed the dynamics. It changed our clients, and everything was like chaos. In COVID, we decided to just pivot the company. But for myself, was my opportunity to go back and program or code again because I am a computer science engineer, but I spent years and years doing management. So I was missing my time to code again. In COVID, I had the opportunity. And that was the challenge, right? Like, how can we make the the payments to be cross border
Hmm.
without friction? And that was pretty much the main motivation. I'm the cliche Latino. So I travel from Mexico, go to the US, get a better kind of like access for life. I start sending remittances to my family. So that was my story like 10 years ago. They're still doing it, but it's been complicated. It's been difficult. Transactions are slow. You only have the option of Western Union or some kind of fintech app. But long, long, long story short was like every single one like that is an immigrant always kind of face the same thing. Either you get banned or censored, right? You need to pay for like a more fees, or sometimes you don't fit in the specific persona they're expecting to have as user. That was my case. So tech entrepreneur, kind of the profile was not matching what they were expecting. So ban, right? You cannot use our service anymore.
Oh my goodness.
So for some years I was banned in PayPal. And that was funny because it's like in the same years I got like accepted into a specific program at Stanford to be the top 10 Latino talent in
Oh my
the in
goodness.
the year, but at the same time I was
Wow.
banned from different like platforms, right? So
That's
it was
awful.
really like a ride my time in San Francisco, but the problem keep up existing. So we think Bitcoin solved this. Stable coins are coming to get a good solution in the world, and that's the main
Hmm.
motivation.
Okay. Wow. So yeah, you developed a really interesting perspective from working in the space of really trying to understand what connects people online. That sounds really fascinating. I bet that was so interesting, kind of diving into that and seeing what really sparks those connections. And you said money was a huge topic. I guess that's universal, right? Everyone needs money to function. But I guess, I don't know, maybe sometimes you wouldn't think it would be an obvious topic. You think maybe something like cooking or hobbies. But that makes perfect sense. And then you have your own experience with remittances. And that's really shocking being, banned from certain platforms and, having that as well. So it sounded like multiple things sort of gave you the right perspective to be in a position to set up a solution. But where did crypto come into it? What was your first experience discovering it, and how did that come into play for your next step into launching Sati?
I think every single Bitcoiner have their like a story about how they got disappointed the first time and how they missed the price to enter Bitcoin early. In my case, it was 2014. So it's kind of early.
Hmm.
The typical meetup in San Francisco with beers and pizza. Before the pizza was
Uh,
the canon globally, it was just
oh,
like beers
okay.
and pizza, some engineer
Yeah.
talking about the future of money. And
Hmm.
I remember paying a lot of attention to this guy, of course, coming with an open mind about what is the future of encrypted money, right? That was the
Hmm.
topic. And this guy at the end of the conversation, I was convinced that's a shape of some kind of solution, right? Like decentralized ledgers or decentralized power to verify something is legit. Makes sense. But the problem was he showed us like a USB. I thought it was a USB. In fact, of course, now we know it was a
Oh,
cold wallet, but he showed
right.
a USB, and then he say, "Well, for anyone interested in this device, I have like 10 coins, so I can sell to you guys, and if you buy me two, I can give you three. So I can give you three Bitcoins for $400."
Oh my
So I was
gosh.
like, okay, wait, this guy is selling me a file for like
Oh,
$150? No, no, no,
yeah.
no, no. This is a scam. I just waste my time here, 1 hour just talking stupid things.
Oh
So I left. I
no.
left the meeting, of course, that was 2014. Later on, I got into Bitcoin, way more expensive, obviously.
Oh my
But
goodness.
the technology was fascinating. I missed my
Hmm.
chance to buy Bitcoin at even a promotion, right? You buy
Yes.
two, you get three. So
2 for 3.
yeah, that was the
Oh
that
my
was the thing.
goodness.
I think later, years later, one of my um one of my investors in San Francisco was called Tandem. So Tandem Capital is one of the first supporters that I have in my career, and they invested in a company called Meme. So they have the domain me.me that's just bought from
Oh,
Yahoo, and the guy came, explained to all of us like they just met the founder of CryptoKitties, and
okay.
and they tried to explain collectibles to all of these entrepreneurs, right? Because we were working in a co-working space and powered by the investor, and everyone got excited, but no one understood why people were paying like $200 for a kitty, right? An image of a
Hmm.
cat. So yeah, we didn't understand that. The guy tried to explain collectibles, tried to explain like fungible tokens, and he was too advanced for his time. Of course, this guy is, I cannot mention the name anymore, but yeah, because of doxing. And the guy made a fortune that time. So that's the second time, right, that
Wow.
I get exposed to this early.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
I'm like, no, 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 something is going on here. I started getting involved to make some experiments with Ethereum early and Solana. And then I learned a lot about the financial part that maybe my education never came to be useful. Even I did a
Hmm.
master degree in the UK, and they're really, really academic. Um, I never got like this kind of urge to understand more and more or deeper the finance, right? Like global finance.
Hmm.
And then DeFi just put me in the middle of all of that. I started like getting really hooked how things are gonna be solved with these kind of solutions. And I was all in. It's like this is the thing, this is the stuff I've been waiting for. I can finally be out of the, I don't know if it's out of the system, but to be able to be in an alternative system where
Yeah.
my bias or my profile is not going to create a bias for the system
Hmm.
to treat me just as a normal user. So yeah, it's been a ride.
Yeah, absolutely. I know the benefit of hindsight, right? There are so many stories like that where people are just like, "Oh, if I could only go back," or, "We were just too early." Yeah,
Yeah,
timing can be everything. And I agree about the education around finance. I still think it's so bizarre that something as fundamental as money in the financial system, which we all rely on to live, uh, you don't really learn anything about it in school. And a lot of it, even now, if you're not in if you're not in finance or something related, a lot of people don't have an understanding of how things work, like basic credit card
totally.
transactions or and and personally it was only when I started working in the space that I really in order to understand crypto I was like, okay, well, how does the traditional finance system work and how is this different? So that's when I learned about what it takes to process a credit card transaction. I was thinking, gosh, it's so weird how something you use every day, like you just don't know how it works.
Exactly.
So yeah, hopefully that will change with future generations. But it is so bizarre how it's just not something that is taught. Um, okay, so what was the genesis then for creating Sati?
So because of my career in Silicon Valley, I was like getting different pieces. So if I look back, it's pretty much like every year, every 2 years, I always hit the same wall. I cannot move money because I need to help my family or I just need to buy something in Mexico. I'm from Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And the more time that pass, the more complications I get. So it started like growing on me this kind of frustration that the system is broken, right? But it sounds
Mm-hmm.
again like a cliche, but it's like I'm living it. And from an engineering perspective, you start like understanding the piece that is not working. So maybe if something like this exists, right? That was the kind of idea always in the mind. And I started getting involved into tokenizing things. That was 2020. I finally get into a side project called Nifter, and I started like creating a launchpad. So first, I was like, I need to learn this from the really inside. So I got really into the trenches of Solana, understanding collectibles, why people get there, right? Like what is the motivation? And I noticed that there is not a project focused for Latins. So there is nothing fun for Latin people speaking Spanish. All the discourse were pretty much full of either English speaking or Chinese speakers and no Spanish. So I was like, okay, this is like a virgin territory. So let's do something. I decided
Mm-hmm.
to go like culture driven. So I create a collection for like Mexican wrestlers or lucha libre. Maybe the audience know
Oh,
what I'm
okay.
talking about. So I
Mm-hmm.
create like these little luchadores in a pixelated way, like Nintendo
Yeah.
nostalgia, and they were
Oh,
uh,
cool.
they were a total success. People started like collecting them. It was a really good experience because I learned from the ground like exactly what is needed to build a community on Web3. And then a lot of
Right.
things that I did in the previous company about connecting, about identifying taste, and about like tribes, they started
Yeah.
resonating, and it's all repeating. And that one was a total success. Kind of note in the middle is that to be able to study abroad, I needed to ask for a student loan. So like many of us, right? So I dragged that student loan for years. And actually that collection helped me pay back all the loan. So I can say that for the first time in my
Amazing.
life, I was debt free because of Web3, right? So the feeling is
Wow.
impressive. I start getting into this like a fire movement, understanding why people are motivated to get it out of there, but also how others can do it. And the whole pieces start getting together. I get good experience with the collection. We create tokens to stake. So when you have the little luchador, you can send them to train. And every day
Oh,
that the luchador is training, he earns tacos. That was the
oh my
name of the
God.
token.
I love
So the
that.
tacos can be exchanged for baby luchadores, or like you can exchange that to tickets to go to a lucha libre event. So we did many things more about like utility and less like speculation. So that's why
Uh-huh.
people like it, right? Like y- you were part of a specific community. Right now the project is led by the same community. Now people just hang there because the NFTs pretty much are dead in many chains, but the,
Mm-hmm.
the people stay there. And that was the last piece that I needed. It's like, okay, I know how to do it. I know that communities keep on repeating. Now it's time to solve it, to solve this problem. I saw a
Mm-hmm.
company in Africa called Machankura. Machankura is doing sending Bitcoin over an SMS. super cool.
Ah.
The guy is a genius, big inspiration for me and my team. And we were like, okay, we need that, but people are not that simplistic in terms of communication here. They're not using SMS, they're
Mm-hmm.
using WhatsApp, right? Some
Yeah.
research, because I was really close to the Meta team, was that WhatsApp is the most famous communication channel in the world with 3 billion people. In the US, it's really funny, this kind of perception, because if you're a white American with white relationships, you don't get access to WhatsApp. The whole thing is iMessage. But if
Mm-hmm.
someone in your circle is from another color, just because you're an Indian immigrant, or because you're a European immigrant, or because you're an Asian immigrant, for sure you have WhatsApp in your phone, because that's the way
Mm-hmm.
you communicate with that region of the world. So if you're American American and your circle is American American, you don't get that exposure. But if you have some
Mm-hmm.
kind of color, you get that exposure. And we didn't know that. We talked with Meta. They have already 100 million people active in the country. So a third of the population of the US is using everyday WhatsApp. So that was it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, this is the platform. I already know how to work with Facebook, now Meta. It's a unfair advantage because we have a lot of years working together, so we know how to be compliant with their policies, which is
Ah.
not that simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
But combining WhatsApp, that is being used in many, many countries, with Bitcoin was kind of a no-brainer. It's so simple that sometimes people, when they know what Sati is doing, it's like, okay, so that's it. And like, sure, that's it. It has more complications in the middle, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. That's simple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And I love that you're meeting people where they already are. It's not like, okay, you have to come and learn how to use this separate piece of technology. Like it's something you're already using, so it's great for adoption as well. I think where a lot of people struggle with crypto sometimes. So for someone who has never used Sati before, can you break it down for us? How does it work?
Yeah, totally. So a couple of things to mention before is that most of the users around these emerging markets don't have the last piece of phone, right? It's not the last Samsung that was out there, or the last
Uh-huh.
iPhone. So they do have a smartphone, but
Mm-hmm.
they don't have enough either capacity and storage or speed because of their chip, right? So
Okay.
they get this kind of limitation technically. A lot of the companies trying to solve banking, or just banking people, or like even crypto in all of these markets, they start with the hypothesis that they can build an app and then people would use it, because
Mm-hmm.
that's the reality, right? But once they arrive to Nigeria, to Argentina, to Colombia, half of them don't have enough space to install their app. And the thing is,
Oh.
like, a lot of the things get there trapped. Nevertheless, they already have WhatsApp because it's their main communication channel.
Mm-hmm.
And in some countries, in a lot of countries actually, WhatsApp is subsidized by the telco. So if you have an
Oh.
active line, you don't need to pay for a data plan to use WhatsApp. In other words, you can be able to send and receive stable coins and Bitcoin with a message that is for free. And you don't need to install anything. So yeah, that's the kind of intro for people that don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to install anything. You just talk to a bot. If you want to test it today, you just go to sati.pro. Depends on your country. It's gonna translate into English or Spanish. It's auto detect. And once you click, I want to use Sati, you are redirected to WhatsApp. And it's a
Mm-hmm.
bot. It's a normal bot. It will say hello. You can say hello. And then it's gonna ask you just two things. One, what's the username that you want to have? Because instead of using like long Bitcoin wallets with a
Mm-hmm.
lot of characters in it, we just create this kind of address that look like an email. And if you choose Lindsay, it's going to be Lindsay at sati.pro. And that's your wallet. People can send you Bitcoin there. People can send USDC or USDT to the same, and it's going to translate to the real crypto format. But it's
Hmm.
only that, asking for a username, a PIN number, and that's it. The combination is going to encrypt your wallet, save it, or kind of link it with your phone number. And it doesn't matter if you have WhatsApp or soon Telegram. The two things are connected to your phone number. So you're going to be able to use it wherever you want. And you can create it in 30 seconds. A couple things that we implemented pretty cool is that in order to be able to send USDC, you can use Solana. In order to use USDT, you can use Polygon. But the main problem for like adoption is that none of us know the concept of gas, right? So
Hmm.
you need to have some Solana in order to pay the gas to be able to send, or you need to have some Matic or Polygon in order to send those stable coins. With Sati, we created a smart contract that is pretty much like using the same currency. So if you send USDC and you want to send $100, it goes, calculate how much is going to be for gas. Okay, 2 cents. Comes back and say, well, to send this $100, you need to use 100.02. And that's it. Takes the 2 cents, go out, translate to Solana, come back, pay for the gas. You never notice. So you don't
Wow.
need to use like a native token to be able to move these stable coins. With Bitcoin is Bitcoin, so you can just send Bitcoin. And with USDT is the same. You don't need that. So the idea is to decrease a lot the learning curve for people, and then just allow them to talk about money, right? I want to pay you
Hmm.
for the cinema, I want to pay my bill of energy, or I just want to exchange for fiat, which is another big trend that is happening in, for example, the global south. People are receiving USDT, and then there are these kind of places around the city that can exchange USDT for local pesos.
Ah,
Argentinian
okay.
peso, Mexican peso. That was my way at the beginning of this year. I moved to Buenos Aires for 2 months. I
Hmm.
arrived with no dollars with me. I got my ledger. Then I just load my phone, start like sending USDT with these exchange houses. They call it agents or caves. I don't know, for some reason. And you go to
Okay.
a cave, you kind of do the transaction right there, and 2 minutes later you can leave the place with a brick of bills of Argentinian
Wow.
pesos, and you can live in the country, right? So this kind of stuff is like getting in every single either circular economy or emerging market. Is really simple. Most of these conversations are happening in WhatsApp.
Okay. Wow. So you're essentially, when you connect with a bot, it's like opening a new chat with someone, but it's a bot. And then you basically just tell the bot all of the transactions that you want to do. And that's how you put sort of the transfer orders in and things.
Yeah, easy. Is a phone number. That phone number is exactly like a contact, so you can save the
Hmm.
contact just to get the reference easy. And once you say hello, it's coming back and only offering options. So currently we call them like a simple bot. Some people call it like a stupid bot, or like a not intelligent bot. And it's because the options are clickable, right? You can click send, you can click receive, you can click more, but you cannot talk with the bot. Uh, Fortunately, like last week, we just got accepted into one of the programs of Polygon for the
Oh,
grant
nice.
program. And the specific goal with them, with Polygon, is going to be about implementing AI with Sati.
Ah,
So the idea is to be able to recognize natural language and then just tell Sati wherever you want to say it. Hey, I want to send $50 to Lindsay, or I want to exchange $50 to Bitcoin. And the bot is pretty much processing the whole thing without you going to the flows and then back and forth. And this is because we have detected a specific behavior in the different users of Sati.
Mm-hmm.
Young people is using Sati, and the movement is happening through. I think the change is really visible between generations. So we start like interviewing our users, and boomers are really comfortable with centralized exchanges. That's the
Mm-hmm.
thing they feel comfortable. But then millennials are more about like decentralized exchanges, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
DEXs. And that's the stuff we feel comfortable with. But the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha, for some reason, they're really comfortable with bots. So they are actually interacting a lot with these interfaces where there is a chat about it,
Mm-hmm.
really about speed or convenience, the whole movement of Telegram and the speculation about like meme tokens happen in Telegram with bots. So we think all of this is going to be replicated in WhatsApp, and specifically this generation is really comfy to talk with bots, but they're expecting this kind of answers like ChatGPT, right? So sometimes
Right.
we have these troubles. So I'm telling this for the audience: if you try to talk with Sati, give us a little patience. It's a simple bot. So when you choose your username, just go straight forward. I want Felipe. That's it. Because
Uh-huh.
we have users now that their username is, I would like to have Lindsay check for me if he's available at
Oh.
Sati.pro. And it's because
Oh.
they're expecting an intelligent answer.
Oh no. Right, got it. Yeah, I guess with like the rise of just Chat GPT and others becoming so popular, I guess you just might assume
Yeah,
it will be the same. But that's exciting and congrats on that grant program. So yeah, it sounds like that might be
thank you.
forthcoming. And how does it work with presumably you'll connect your wallet obviously to actually receive the funds, or how does that work actually, getting your Bitcoin or whatever the currency you're using to and from
Sure.
people.
So it's actually really simple. You don't need a wallet. In fact, Sati is your wallet. So
Mm-hmm.
the wallet will live inside your WhatsApp. The wallet will have your own Bitcoin address, your own Solana address, your own Ethereum or Polygon address, and then you can just fund it. So there are like three ways to have money inside your Sati. One, you receive it from another Sati user, right? That's the easiest
Mm-hmm.
one. Especially if you're trying to use the send to a phone number feature,
Mm-hmm.
because now you can send Bitcoin to any of your friends, even if they don't have Sati account.
Mm-hmm.
And the way we do it is like just asking you their phone number. So when you share that phone number from your contacts, we create this called pre-funded account. So it's there waiting for them to appear and claim it. But
Mm-hmm.
if for some reason they don't appear in the next 21 days, we have something called dead man switch. So it's just like, okay, it didn't appear. So it's rolling back the transaction and coming back to you. But you can actually send
Oh.
to anyone with a phone number that is using WhatsApp. That's
Oh
the first. The
wow. Okay.
second, you can just copy your address, paste it in centralized exchange, Coinbase, Binance, and you will receive it as a normal wallet. Let's say you use MetaMask or Phantom, the same experience pretty much. And the third one is one of the most used in the different markets we're operating, especially in the South. For example, in Mexico, you can go to any 7-Eleven. You go to a 7-Eleven, and in Mexico, it's really common to go and pay for your energy bill, either your energy bill or your water bill or even your internet, right? And you go there, you talk to the cashier, and then you can say, I want to pay the Sati bill. So the first step
Oh.
is to tell Sati, hey, I want to buy dollars. I want $50.
Mm-hmm.
So currently the conversion is 1 to 20 to simplify. So
Mm-hmm.
$50 will be 1,000 pesos. And the bot is telling you, this is the conversion rate. Are you happy with that? Sure. In that moment, you get a barcode and numbers, and you just walk to any 7-Eleven. We have like 2,000 stores of 7-Eleven around the
Mm-hmm.
country. You go there, you tell the cashier, I want to pay a service. This is the most common stuff. And then you just show the QR, scan it, and then the cashier is asking for, okay, it's going to be 1,000 pesos for this service. You can give them cash. You can use your card, whatever you have at hand. And 1 minute later, you receive a notification saying, congrats, you just have 50 USDT. So effectively, you can fund your Sati or buy dollars in any 7-Eleven. And now we're extending this with Walmart, other banks. The idea is to create a easy way to ramp people from normal
Oh.
cash into
Mm-hmm.
something that they feel comfortable, because in countries like Argentina, inflation is already in the hyperinflation. It was already in the hyperinflation, and they're losing value all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
their money pretty much evaporates from one day to
Gosh.
another. It happened to me. First week I was in Buenos Aires, I tried to get a liter of milk, and then
Mm-hmm.
they say, okay, one milk, $1, right? 1,000 pesos in Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
2 days later, because I was drinking so much coffee those days, I went for another one, and they're like 1,200. So it's like, what? 20%
What? Oh my
increment?
goodness.
Sure.
Wow.
And then a week later, I came for another liter of milk, and the guy started laughing at me, and he's like, "You're not from here, right?" Like, no, 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 I'm visiting. So, but I'm ready. I have my 1,200 for the milk. And the guy was like, "Well, welcome to Argentina. Today is 1,500." So we're talking about 50%
Oh my
increment
goodness.
just in milk. Of course,
Wow.
people, what they do to survive is to start saving in dollars. So now the alternative is,
Uh,
if you're a normal person, just start
mhm.
moving your pesos into USDT, and they keep it stable in a dollar
Oh,
denomination. And if you're
okay.
getting a little sophisticated, you start moving your USDT to Bitcoin, because that one
Um,
appreciates. And that's
yes.
the kind of flow we're identifying here.
Right. Wow. Yeah, because that was going to be my next question. Like, what do you do? I mean, that makes the egg crisis, in the US, it sort of pales in comparison to that. But
Totally.
yeah, I see now if you have these opportunities to move money into dollars or USDT, then yeah, that's how you do it. 'Cause yeah, the inflation, hyperinflation stories are, yeah, they're obviously really devastating in a lot of cases where you just hear about people losing everything. And it's like, yeah, I mean, how do you survive in that situation where things are going up 50%? But that's incredible that the your WhatsApp then is your wallet, and you can send you can send money to people that they don't need then even um need to have like an account. Like it will sit there until it's claimed, or they can send it. There's multiple different ways to receive, and then the offer, the ramping through 7-Eleven. That's a really genius idea as well. So that's really interesting. My next question was going to be, can you share some stories of how people are using this? And you've already mentioned about paying bills. Are there any other stories that you can share, or is there anything that you found particularly surprising?
Yeah, totally. I think slowly we're experiencing this kind of evolution with the product and the users. Like, is feeling like, I mean, that's our wish, right? Like, I I lived for some years in Asia. I experienced the simplicity of using tools like WeChat and the WePay ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have your money digitalized, and the platform allow others to build on top of it, many things accelerate. So money speed is something that is a concept really well studied, but is not really well discussed in a lot of places in the world. So it's totally correlated. The faster the money you can get in a specific country or region, the faster the progress that it can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because access and you're unlocking things. Uh, so if we're fighting against fiat, we're losing, right? It's like really slow. And then if you imagine that all of these transactions are happening with a bill, that's even more difficult, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's why countries like Brazil with their system of Pix is like unlocking a lot of people to do better business, or Argentina and Colombia having like better systems for e-commerce. Nigeria in the same way with mobile money or M-Pesa. So a lot of these kind of behaviors are replicating, and we would love to get into the shape of a WeChat system where WhatsApp becomes this kind of payment. People are really
Mm-hmm.
using that way, and one of the ones that come to my mind are let me see. One that really surprised me was one of our ambassadors. Sati is a small team. We have just 6 people working in the team. Most of us engineers, a couple of hackers, really talented, but also with the touch of what is needed in the region. The
Mm-hmm.
extended team is another 20 people. They're ambassadors. They're living all over the world. They just want to talk about Bitcoin and stablecoins. And we didn't know a lot of things about them when they applied. Later on, we discovered one in Venezuela. She was our first ambassador in the country. And we didn't know, but she was just doing nails. She's a nail artist.
Okay.
So it's a micro entrepreneur, uh, normal person, normal person, and then she just got hooked with the idea of saving in Bitcoin. Discover Sati, try to apply. He's not a crypto bro. He's not a financial person. He's not a content creator. He's not even like a designer or programmer that we're used to see in the knowledge
Mm-hmm.
economy. He's a person that is doing art with nails, right? That's it. And then
Yeah.
for some reason, when we released the referral program, she was killing it. Like every day, a lot of people, and they start doing transactions, and we see a lot of activity. And the people that she actually bring the first level, let's say, also
Mm-hmm.
bring another level or another 2 levels. So they were really viral. These kind of people.
Yes.
She won. She won the
Oh my
competition for
gosh.
2 months in a row. Two things happened. Really, really interesting. One, with the money, she was able to start their own business. She was working in a specific salon to do this,
Mm-hmm.
and now she can do it by herself
Oh,
because that was the
amazing.
little part that she needed to be
Yeah.
her own boss. And
Mm-hmm.
the second and the most interesting is she was winning the competition because every single client that was using the nails was
Ah.
onboarded on the time.
Oh,
She
right.
has enough time to explain what is Bitcoin, what's a stable coin, why
Yes.
SAT is good, and then the normal chat that normally we call it in Spanish chisme, right? It's just the kind of dirty secrets around the community.
Oh,
Instead of
okay.
that conversation, it was
Yes.
a financial conversation, and she was cleaning it, and she's still doing it. I think less referrals from her, and now she is an entrepreneur herself.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of the things that we got surprised. These kind of tools can really change the trajectory of people. And
Mm-hmm.
immediately she started offering like stable coins and Bitcoin to be accepted as payment, right?
Oh,
Because now
nice.
you onboard all of these people
Yes.
and
It's a good.
they're saving in dollars. So in Venezuela, it's kind of a big deal. This kind of movement. The other one was
Mm-hmm.
about like Argentina. Long story short is I moved there. I didn't have signal in the middle of the night. The kind of banks were closed. We were in the middle of nowhere, and then someone shared Wi-Fi in a restaurant, and I didn't have money. So the only way for me, we were really far. We didn't have enough gasoline to come to the next, go to the next town. So the only way was to
Oh
get into a
gosh.
hotel. But where? We don't know the area, where to drive. We can get out of gasoline. We were in the middle of nowhere. So the restaurant owner say, well, you should call one of these five. And then we asked, do you have like a phone we can borrow just to call them? No. Okay, so it's on our own. We
What?
have Wi-Fi. The guys were not replying on social media. Only traditional phone was available in that region of Argentina. Really, really north, close to the desert. And
Okay.
then there is a company called Bitrefill. So Bitrefill allows you to pay for Uber gift cards and Amazon gift cards, but also top up your phone. In that
Oh,
moment, I was like, really? Is that possible? Okay. It sounds really stupid, right? But it saves our life that time. And then I just got into Bitrefill via eSIM, get a local phone number in Argentina, pay with WhatsApp using Sati, and 2 seconds later, I have an Argentinian phone number. Called the hotel. They were waiting for us. The night was safe. And
oh my
that was the
goodness.
first time for me that is like, I'm in a country that is not my country. I don't have money that is accepted by the bank. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot communicate with anyone. How can I get a phone right now in the middle of the night? And everything was solved through Bitcoin, right? And a
Oh my
couple
goodness.
messages using Sati. So either like these kind of strange
Wow.
situations or this kind
Yes.
of like a life-changing situations, and we see this
Hmm.
a lot of times.
Wow, what a story. And yeah, I guess too, when you're used to everything is so digital nowadays. It's like, yeah, you just have your phone, and a lot of people like have cash in this situation, you needed the right currency. But that is a really interesting story, how it's like, oh, but there's no phone, or um yeah, how do you get access to money, and then being able to solve it through, yeah, sending a message through WhatsApp, and then being able to get, that spin up a phone. Gosh, yeah, that sounds really stressful. Thank goodness you were able to sort that out. But yeah, it is really interesting, these scenarios that you just would never think about. Um, and gosh, yeah, I'm just looking. It looks like we're wrapping up. But before we do, is there anything you want to talk about that's coming up that you're excited about, or anything that we didn't touch upon that you want to end with?
Yeah, I think one that is really exciting for us, on top of bringing AI to the tool, not because it's a buzzword or it's like
Mhm,
famous, but because we think it's gonna make people use it in a more human way.
mhm,
On top of that, we're preparing a specific stuff related with the creator economy, again, communities. So my whole life is about that, like tribes and communities, and this time we finally got a way to use the same kind of Sati architecture, and instead of just using the bot on the top, put another one, right? Like another front end, same tech. And
mhm,
we're preparing something for the creator economy in in the specific platforms like Nostr. Maybe some people in the audience already know Nostr. It's just
mhm,
a decentralized social media. They have a feature that is really famous. It's called Zap. So you can tip someone using Bitcoin online.
mhm,
Famous, famous, famous. The thing is, because it's decentralized and many things needs to happen to involve creators there, Nostr is not that famous around the world. But the sapping behavior is pretty much like really desire around different platforms.
yeah,
So we're about to release a test. So whoever wants to get involved, just drop me a message at F Servin on Twitter. We're gonna release a test where any creator or community can tip another user on Twitter or X. So it's a little button. It's like comment, share, tip, And
Oh,
then
nice.
the tip is in Bitcoin. So instead of like paying like gas and the whole thing to move Bitcoin, we're using
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin Lightning. So you can send as low as 1 cent of a dollar, and you can just tip someone because it was a fun meme, it was really useful information, or
Mm-hmm.
just because you want to support creators. So I think bringing these
Nice.
kind of solutions to more mass market approaches is something that is gonna be the route of Sati within the next 12 months. We will keep on pushing the WhatsApp deployment in different countries. But now
Mm-hmm.
we want to go one level up for the people that are like pretty much involved with crypto and Bitcoin all the time. And why not? Maybe this podcast is on Twitter, and we can start receiving tips for this content. I don't know. That would be the idea.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, that sounds the brilliant adding that tip function. And yeah, I'm so glad that we got to meet, and I thank you for showing me the demonstration yourself. It was really incredible seeing just the speed of the transaction and also just how easy it was. And I just love how it's using something that people already are familiar with and know how to use. And, it just wasn't a huge learning curve using it to transfer money. And it's just a fantastic way to get people involved with crypto and, being able to send it not only for adoption, but then also solving, issues, like you said, in other parts of the world where people are using WhatsApp, or they need to sort of use, exchange money in order to pay bills, or they just need an easier, faster, cheaper solution. So this is just really, really fantastic. So thanks again for joining us on the show and telling us all about Sati.
Thank you, Lindsay. And yeah, see you in the next event in Bitcoin.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, thanks again, Felipe. It's been really great talking today. All right,
Bye bye.
so that's it for today's episode of Token for Your Thoughts. If you enjoyed the conversation, be sure to subscribe and follow the podcast for more insights from the leaders shaping the future of crypto and Web3. We'll see you on the next episode.